It pains me to admit, but I have an unhealthy obsession when it comes to organization within my EDC. Whether that's making sure that things aren't naked inside of a bag just wandering all over the place, or that's ensuring stuff is organized inside of the armrest of my truck. This is where I fall into the world of EDC pouches in cases. Some of them are made of super cheap polyester filling material that feels like it may fall apart if you blow it too hard, all the way up to your God tier X-Pack strong nylon materials with incredible stitching. All have their own benefits and use cases. I myself have a very healthy collection of pouches, admin panels, storage devices, whether they're made of aluminum like some of these, some of them come in the form of pouches, or whatever the heck this thing is. Enter the next item, the Roaring Fire Smolder Organization Pouch. This might be your one and done solution when it comes to an EDC organization solution. Let's check it out and let's see what I keep inside. So before we jump into the actual bag itself, who is this bag for? Well, if you are the type of person that likes a little bit of elegance, something that has a heritage type style, being it has a little bit of wax canvas, and if you want something that's very subtle, streamlined, a pouch that's just going to blend into your everyday carry, disappear inside of a bag, disappear into your vehicle, just kind of look like the ordinary tool bag, this pouch may be for you. Who is it not for? If you're the type of person that needs extra volume, meaning like you need tons and tons of room, this is not for you. You might want to look at one of their competitors that is almost the size of like a 4-liter bag, something like that, a 4-liter pouch or something like that. If you want something that has a lot of innovation, there's nothing really cutting edge here. It's a wax canvas pouch, a zipper, you know, a pocket in the front, a little bit of loop paneling on the front. It's nothing super innovative. So if you can put yourself in one of those categories, then you know this might be for you. But it definitely is going to be for you if you want something that's wax canvas, on the market, less than $50. There are not a lot of pouches that fall into that arena. The Roaring Fire Smolder Organizer pouch, we're going to call this the Smolder for the rest of the video. The Smolder has this very unique look to it. It's of course made of wax canvas, cotton dipped in wax, with these fantastic YKK zippers. These are brass YKK zippers. This thing puts itself in line with its competition such as Viper Aid, Nutsack with their amazing admin pouch. Also places such as Garage Built Gear, which they have a wax canvas pouch, which is always out of stock. So when you present yourself with something like that, you can usually snag and grab your hands on. Specs about this thing: wax canvas, brass YKK zippers, 2 sections of insert pockets. You also have a pocket on the very front, which you can keep stuff inside. You have 12 elastic loops, a key holder, which if you're EDC pouch and you don't have a key holder, are you really an EDC pouch these days? This thing's about 7.67 inches by 6.1 inches. And when it's not completely stuffed like a burrito like mine is, it's 1.77 inches in approximate width or depth. The thing about this thing is I have this thing stuffed. It's just so fungible. I don't know how much you can stuff it before you start to jeopardize the zippers, but I am definitely pushing it. There's loop paneling on the front, which is Velcro branded, so you're going to have some definite reliability with that loop panel on the front. So the overall characteristics of this pouch is inviting, engaging, in your face. This pouch isn't black. It doesn't feel cheap. It invites you to actually use it. My concern with this pouch was a loss of wax, as all wax canvas bags and pouches lose their wax over time, some more quickly than others depending on the processing time and the treatment process. Now, I've only tested this bag this pouch for about a month, and it has held up pretty well. Eventually, it's going to begin to lose its water resistance and its ability to keep water out of the pouch itself. I don't recommend putting this pouch or any other wax canvas pouch on the outside of your carry. I know that the actual MOLLE is inviting, you want to strap it on there, but unless you intend to re-wax this thing every single year, that's not something that I would do. It is a big bulky boy when I have this thing completely kitted out, basically everything that I want and need all inside of one place. it makes it very, very easable. Look how this thing basically fits in the palm of my hand. I mean, it's not super palmable, but it is something that you could easily just, you know, grab, go. So there's some things about the pouch I'm not a big fan of. So the actual MOLLE is not removable. So if you look here, you can see that there is MOLLE built in, but it's sewn in, well sewn in. It's very, very well sewn in. But if you want to strap it, you know, literally scrap it all together, get rid of the MOLLE straps, you're not taking these things off. This little pull tab is decent, but I kind of wish it carried some of those leather accents or maybe some of that rubber accent from the zippers and put that onto the actual pull tab itself. But that would be cool. The pull tabs are almost obnoxiously long and big. For the size of this pouch, it almost has big pull tabs like it's a sling bag or a regular backpack. Like, you know, it's some pretty big boys. Of course, these are easy pull tabs. You can just get rid of these all together. But because of those pull tabs, it reduces the noise of the bag quite a bit to where you don't actually hear it whatsoever. So I've had this thing for about a month, and a little bit of the stitching is beginning to expose itself. I don't know if you can see that there, but I'm assuming that's like more like an Irish pendant. Maybe I can burn that away or cut that away and it should be fine. But that does kind of make me just have a little bit of caution, a little bit of Irish pendants on the actual loop handling itself. That's the type of stuff you would cut away with scissors. So those are things I would just be cautious of. But if you need a pouch, you're looking for something that has a little bit of just uniqueness to it. You don't want to spend the money of the nutsack admin pouch, which arguably, I love you guys in nutsack. This has way more functionality, but you also are going to save money with this thing. This thing costs less money than the nutsack. Or if you can't get your hands on the garage build, which also costs more than this thing, it's always out of stock. This might be a solution for you as well. You also have other makers on the market which are kind of playing in the same space. I'm thinking about folks that can put stuff out at production scale, not folks at Etsy size or releasing stuff in batches. And the only other players out there would be like Viper 8, which Viper 8 is doing a lot of stuff like this, but nothing that's really durable. And I'm talking like 180-degree opening type of bag for your EDC stuff. So wax canvas is your priority, something unique. This is the go-to recommendation as of right now for a wax canvas EDC pouch. Let's talk about what I actually keep inside this thing. All right, so first off, you've decided maybe this is the pouch for you. So X, what do you keep inside of your pouch? Well, I am glad that you asked. First of all, the stuff that I show you in here is for ideal purposes only. Some of this stuff lives in the pouch at all times. Other items are taken out because I have kids. I got to put in pacifiers, lip balm, or whatever. But this is a typical load out that I would normally do just to kind of rock and make things happen. Links down below for anything that I describe. In those links will be affiliate. Click on them and make me filthy rich. We would appreciate that type of stuff. So very front here, we got the Simplify patch that goes in the hook and loop accessories, but you can put whatever you want on the front of this thing, man. You need to label this thing as a med pouch, whatever, do that, make the things happen as we go inside. So first off, at the very back here, we do have a hero clip. Now, you guys know I've talked about the hero clip, I don't know, maybe 1.1 million times, something like that. This is a 3-in-1 clip that holds up to 40 pounds. This specifically is the mini size, made of aluminum, a little bit of plastic on the very back, but it's still a very, very capable carabiner, mostly because when you got this thing here, you can use it for small purses, bags, diaper bags. In this case, we're using it for an EDC pouch. Keep your stuff off the ground, hang it from other devices. It just comes, listen, if you don't have a hero clip, if you don't have a little carabiner, get yourself one, because the one that comes with this pouch is just completely laughable. So upgrade yourself, get yourself the hero clip. It weighs less than 1 ounce, and it is very, very small, coming in literally 2.25 inches when the thing is closed all together. 180-degree opening on this makes life just that much more convenient. There's a lot of pouches out here that kind of have like the accordion style opening and a shallow type opening. Sometimes it's nice to just be able to plop everything open, see everything all at once, see do you have everything that you want, are you missing anything for that day? And the pouch itself has identical sets set up when it comes to the actual slip pockets and for the elastic loops. 12 of them all together. You can outfit them however you see fit. We'll just make my way through each of them. Before we dive into those, there's this mesh pocket that I saw other reviews on the internet that talked about they wish the pocket kind of opened the other way. I actually kind of like the way this thing opens, because if you have this outfitted in a bag or to a belt, if you're a renegade like that or something similar, if you open this up and this thing flops open kind of like this, it's kind of nice to have the mesh area to lift up towards your face so you can kind of see what you are and are not missing. If it opened the other way, then you wouldn't be able to easily do that as quickly. So I kind of like the way that opens. All right, so the first thing we have here is the Leatherman curl. Leatherman kind of has like a good, better, best system. Everything that they make for the most part is good. The Leatherman curl is a great tool for beginners. Packs 15 tools in one. It does come with a pocket clip, which a lot of Leatherman tools do not come with. Comes with a sheath. It has a pair of scissors. It uses Leatherman proprietary bits. So if you're trying to get into that world of carrying some bits around with you, this might be something that you might be a big fan of. Comes with a 25-year warranty, and it does have some tools which are available while the tool is closed. You can get that file, the diamond file. You can actually get the blade while the tool is closed. You have to open it up to access the rest of the tools. That kind of lets you know that you are in the beginning world of a Leatherman tool, but you can normally score this thing for less than $100, which is a win, because sometimes for Leatherman multi-tools, they get pretty pricey. All right, so next is a mechanical pen by Wingback. This is a slept-on EDC company that makes luxurious, very, very nice EDC premium desk accessories, all sorts of stuff that you can use. This is a machine ballpoint pen with a single handed twist mechanical motion to open this thing up. This one's made of black stainless. They make it in stainless, brass. I don't know the other colors they make, but I can tell you this much. This is the most premium filling pen that I own. I have other pens. I have my tactile turn pens. I have my pens by Big Idea Designs. This is just one of those pens that you can feel in your hand that is absolutely premium filling. This is a buy once, cry once type of pen, coming in at around $158. You buy this one time, you just enjoy it for the rest of your life. Just refill the cartridges, hand this down to the little ones, it being made of steel. And you know what? A lot of pens don't come with their own little carrying case. This is one of those that does. This is pretty slick itself. They also sell upgraded cases like leather, or you can buy your own third-party case. I think it looks really, really sharp. Next to that is the Streamlight Wedge XT. This is a 500 lumen or 50 low lumen mode flashlight, which does have USB Type-C charging, a cord, a lanyard cord, and a decent pocket clip, which can be used for if you want to keep this thing directly in your pocket. Now, this thing is IPX7 rated, which means you can go down about 3 feet in water for about 30 minutes, and this thing should be fine. Even with the open USB-C port, it actually should be fine. If you were to drop this into a pond or a wishing well or something like that, you should have enough time to be able to gather this thing out. I do miss the side switch design of its big brother, the Streamlight Wedge, but the tail design does allow for you to lock it just in case you don't want to turn it on accidentally. You see the double blinking lights lets me know that I'm not going to accidentally turn this on when I don't want it to be on. Made of a premium filling. I think it's made of aluminum. Feels pretty decent in the hands. The price is finally starting to come down on this thing. It's now around the $89 mark. Any updated pricing links will be down below, just in case the pricing is even better than these are right now. If you've been trying to get your hands in the world of Autumn, Civivi has come through, and they've released basically the kitchen sink in Autumn. This here is a Civivi Elementum. This is a D2 blade Autumn handled, which is a decent pocket knife to carry. The Civivi Autumn's already a fantastic pocket knife, but now they slap some Autumn on it to kind of get that EDC fad and craze that everyone's a big fan of. They've released the mini Praxis, the Autumn push button. Basically anything you can think of has been released in Autumn by Civivi, which I'm not mad at. It kind of gives you a lot of options just in case you want to have it. So everything kind of sits nice and neatly here, which is all right in front of the last two additional items on this side, which is a slip pocket. This is the wallet size right in the rain pad, which literally you can fit this in wallets. So imagine that you had this here. You can stick it in a wallet. You can stick it in your pad. This one is using just very blank paper. Doesn't have dots or grids or lines, but it actually is already perforated, so it's literally designed for you to write notes and leave it with someone. So you have that pen inside. You want to leave a note on someone's windshield or on their car or whatever. That makes life that much easier, that much faster. This is the Core 10,000 milliamp hour battery bank. Comes in at $60. A lot of people have commented on my videos about this Core battery bank before and said, X, there are battery banks which are cheaper than that. Why do you keep talking about the Core battery bank? I know there are cheaper ones, but this one here does 38 watts fast charging if your device can handle it. This thing here is also splash resistant at IPX5 splash resistant, meaning it can take a water hose for about 15 minutes and not allow itself to be penetrated with water. Now, who's standing in front of a water hose getting themselves wet? No one. But there is a possibility you pull this out of the festival and it's raining outside of the fair. It's super humid or foggy outside. You accidentally, splash it with some water. So it's super water resistant. It's not 100% waterproof. It does have two dual fast charging ports here. You can fast charge from the USB-A port or the USB-C port. It includes a couple of cables in the box so that you can actually charge your devices. Has a pretty decent battery indicator button here, which lets you know exactly how much battery and juice is left. It has a carbon fiber skin on this thing, and this thing weighs less than 40% of other 10,000 milliamp hour battery banks on the market. For me, size and weight matter. I know I can get a more traditional battery bank for cheaper, but why spend more money just to get something that might be cheaper when it's more of a headache to carry around and actually use? As mentioned before, this thing does come with a couple of carabiners. I would almost say take these things off. I left this one here just to show you what they look like, but they're nothing to write home to mom about. There's another one here, another one of these little carabiners that comes with the actual pouch. But it's nice that they include it because you can use this as a pull for this actual mesh pocket here. So if you have a battery bank you need something to actually charge with, this is an Anker Thunderbolt 3 cable. It's a little bit less than 3 feet long. I like Thunderbolt everything when it comes to charging purposes. This does have a little leather keep here, which allows for you to keep this cord nice and organized with a little button, a button snap here will keep it nice and locked. So, of course, it would not be an EDC pouch for Marine X if I did not have some type of survival kit. This is another one of those. This is the Essie Mini Survival 10. This is by Azula or Randall's Adventure Company. They're all the same company. Now, a few additionals that I added on here is a Ranger band. Ranger bands are 100% flammable. You can use them in a survival situation, but it also keeps this thing from flopping and popping open. Listen, you can put your own Altoid size 10 survival kit together. There's plenty of YouTube videos about it. This thing's less than 50 bucks and it's a fantastic start. It has everything in here such as tinder, a button compass, a little bit of cordage. It has snare wire. It has a small knife, like just a lot of things inside of this thing that you probably would fail to forget, not think to put in here. And now you can buy this one and done kit. In my opinion, this is the perfect white elephant gift as we approach the actual holidays here to give to folks that are not into survival. You can buy a bunch of these and hand them out at your little holiday party. And now people are all of a sudden are into survival and they didn't even know it. So I keep these two things here in this little mesh pocket. I might redo this because although the mesh pocket fits these well, I feel like I'm wasting space with that, but we'll think about and go over that as well. So in the very front here, we do have the Victorinox Swiss Army knife nail clippers. Now, a lot of people have asked me about these nail clippers. The thing about this is the Swiss Army Knife 580 nail clippers. The number one question I get about these things are they strong? My nails grow fast and they're very, very hard. It cuts my nails fine, except for the thumbnail. The thumbnail seems to be harder than the rest of my nails, but it can cut any of my other nails with no issues. But it does include the little nail clippers here, which pop out. You can use these on the fly, on the go, clip your kids' nails. If you're sitting around a game or you're bored or something like that, you do have a set of nails. You have a set of scissors in here as well, which I've often have said that Victorinox, in my opinion, just has god tier scissors on their sacks, on their Swiss Army knives, which are almost not rivaled by anyone except for maybe Leatherman. I know far, far behind is Gerber. You also on here include a pair of tweezers, which aren't the best for much of anything. You can't really use them to get splinters out, but you can use them if you have like something that gets stuck in a very small, tight corner in your vehicle or something similar to like that. And then, of course, you do have a toothpick, which is included in a lot of Swiss Army knives. You can replace that with a ferro rod if you want to use it for fire making materials. And then this also includes a couple of knives, which is one is a diamond file and one of them is just a traditional knife. Not the sharpest thing ever, but at least you have a knife, and definitely better than not having one at all. Of course, my device is USB-C, but I do have others that have different devices. So I do keep a three-way charging cable in here just in case someone has another type of device to charge using that battery bank. It's great because it does have micro USB, lightning cable, and USB-C, and all of that can be used at other port. That's why I said it's nice to have two ports on that night core charging bank, because I can use one port for my God tier Thunderbolt cable and then the other port for this peasant level charging that we also have next to that. So underneath the Swiss Army knife, we do have the O-Lite O-Pry 2. This is the O-Pry 2 pry bar made of a solid piece of titanium alloy. So it's a mixture of titanium and other metals. It does have a almost useless ruler here, which has centimeters on the top. So if you need to measure some stuff, then you're ready to rock and roll. The very edge of that has inches. Now this thing comes in around 50 bucks. It's about as many features as most pry bars out there. Made of titanium, has a bottle opener, a pry opener, a slotted screwdriver, a prying mechanism, but it also includes a little hidden compartment here, and inside of that compartment are a couple of bits. You can use those bits on the very end of the pry bar and use those to use them directly in one of your knives or to tighten some stuff. So a T6, T8, a slotted, and a Phillips screwdrivers are all included in here so that you're ready to rock and roll. That's a nice feature, especially because they are kept inside. Almost completely useless lanyard hole, but very, very concrete in a small body here. I don't like carrying pry bars. This is kind of just give you an idea of what it's like to carry a pry bar. I never had a pry bar emergency. And if I do have a big issue that requires some type of prying, in my truck is normally some tools, but just in case you want to just be able to show what it's going to look like, there you go. That's ready to rock and roll as well. Next to that is the final two items, which is the TISFA. This is the TISFA butane lighter. I like this. You guys know I smoke sticks, but also just have a nice source of fire with you is pretty nice. It also has a very front here, lets you know how much butane is left inside the lighter. This is a cigar rest. So if you have this thing sitting on a surface, you can actually set a cigar right on top and it's going to be just fine. Next to that is a Sharpie, because just in case I want to do some major marking. I don't know. I've been finding more useful lately having a Sharpie than not. And I had the room in this thing, then why not? This thing does have another slip pocket back here. In the very back of this slip pocket, I do have the Chippio. This is basically a tracker system. It charges. My only complaint about this has been it only charges with the sun. Be nice if they had something else. Because it only charges with the sun, it's portless, so it's very thin. But it is a headache when it takes months for it to run out of battery. But when it does, you have to wait until the sun's out to charge it. But other than that, I love having this. It makes a little noise. I don't lose my freaking EDC pouch around the house anymore. If I'm moving it from bag to bag or whatever the case may be, it just makes it that much easier to keep this thing ready to rock and roll. So also the very front pocket in the front of the pouch, we do keep a little bit of Blistex because, kids, winter, fall, life. So very, very capable pouch altogether. That's what's in my EDC pouch. Things get swapped out all the time. I'm always changing out multi-tools. I'm always changing out flashlights. I am a fickle guy when it comes to my EDC, even when it comes to changing out the actual pouches themselves. So you've seen my EDC pouch. You see that it's very compact and it could be smaller. I can carry less stuff, but it seems to work for me. Comment down below. What am I missing? What would you take out? What would you add? Is this a pouch that you would be interested in? Do you think this competes with the likes of the Nutsack admin pouch? I would love to know what your comments down below. If this is your first time stopping by, hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, I'm not talking to you. You've already done what you're supposed to do. I appreciate you once again for stopping by, watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.